Am I back? So I just had a prime example of what I was talking about in the last slide, just that fast. Um, about how your mind go left. So I was explaining to y'all about how like it's bringing a lot of people from the past because it's spiritual, right? But see, what y'all not realizing about this energy is that Venus is in Libra. With Venus being in Libra, let me tell y'all something. This is also you overcoming karmic lessons. I just talked to somebody and like the last time we talked, like I didn't care for what all the shit that they said. You know what I'm saying? I didn't agree with it. And so in my mind, I'm done. So the person is now calling me back, calling me back, calling me back, like, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't answered. So then like within the last like day or two, like I started answering. And so, I'm not gonna lie, I should have listened to my intuition the first time. This is what I'm telling y'all. Because the person already didn't speak my love languages. And they said that they didn't really like they said they don't really speak my love language. They said they speak needs, not wants. And so, in my mind it was just like, okay, well, maybe they just being strict. But like I should have just listened the first time because I had already told them like I know this not gonna work because you don't speak my love languages. I have my love language is gifts, okay, money. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So it's like I like to be spoiled, with like, you know. So, as time went on, did they handle my needs? Yes. So like, making sure everything was already scheduled and stuff like that. Like I didn't have to worry about stuff like that. But when it came to like I wanted this, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do that, like they didn't feel the need to do it because they didn't want to do it. So once the person had already stated that they no longer want to make me happy, I was like, well, I don't know what makes you think that I would fuck with you again. Like you've already addressed you don't want to make me happy. So then, the fact that you calling me, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not answering, and it's just like, what do you want? So we had the conversation, and I'm not understanding like where the person wasn't like getting it of like it they were being delusional as if like the conversation didn't happen. They're like, oh well, the conversation over with, so I'm like, I'm done with it. We didn't It wasn't a solution based conversation. So like why would you ever think that I would fuck with you again? Like you already done showed me I don't want to fuck with you. So you know what I'm saying? The person just want to continue to explain themselves and reiterate the whole conversation that we had previously. And I'm like, there's no need for you to do all that. Like I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? And I think I just had to like bluntly explain to the person. Like I'm glad that I took this phone call before I got into the live because the live actually goes with the phone call. So I just politely had to tell the person like, everybody, make sure you put the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. It should be, if it's 10 people in here, it should be 10 thumbs up. Thank you. We about to be back on our TikTok shit where everybody has to hit like and shit. But so, you know what I'm saying? I told Buddy, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm going to go ahead and just be honest with you. You've already explained to me that you're a needs-based person, and I want somebody that actually wants to do my needs and my wants. Simple. This lesson of the person told me I needed to compromise. I said I don't want to compromise. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to compromise. Why don't I want to compromise? Because the things that I want within a person are not things that another individual is not capable of doing. And there's not like a person out there that will do it. So why do I have to compromise? You know? And so it was like, well, I mean, you don't want to compromise, but you want me to compromise. You don't have to compromise, but because I feel that everything that you ask of me is something that I'm more than capable of doing, and I would do it. You see what I'm saying? This is where this generational thing that I was tweeting about this morning is coming up. So the month of November, it just gives me a lot of like, your mind on one spot, boom, it just turned left. Your mind on another spot, boom, it turned right. And it's this energy of like where you vocalize exactly what you want, because something about what you speak in this season, because Libra is air energy, something about what you speak in this season, it heals past things. So as you speak up for yourself, it heals your great 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 grandma or great 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 aunt that used to basically allow a man to verbally abuse her. Okay? Or your great 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 your cousin or whatever, who I'm just giving y'all examples that used to like allow, to settle. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that told her that they couldn't have this and they couldn't have that. When you vocalize these things now that like November is coming up, because I'm trying to tell you, your mind gonna be going, 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 and all of a sudden somebody gonna say something, you gonna be like, skirt. Like you're gonna be like missing potholes, and people are the potholes. People are the potholes. And the only way you see a pothole is if you give it its full attention. And then you say, oh shit, there's a pothole. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying every time you see a pothole, you say, oh shit, there's a pothole. But I'm telling y'all, like, that's something that I just keep hearing of, like, of like you're more aware. And I was telling y'all about how your energy validates you. People want you to validate them through the attention of you. And so, it's funny because I had rewatched those lives that I did when I was in Canada, and they hit so fucking hard because I was talking about that Scorpio. And it's funny because I was talking about Gemini energy in that fucking live. The nigga I was talking about, he's a Gemini. Being very like, where the fuck is your mind at? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you really think people, like, who's gonna put up with this? And then it made me realize that, and this is what I've realized about a lot of people. People, how can I explain this? People don't have the under and understanding, okay, that the person that you want or the person that you seek don't got to put up with shit like that. There is somebody out here in the world that will put up with you. But just because you want me doesn't mean that I will. You hear me? And that's something that the collective is not used to. That's why there's a lot of predator mentality that's coming up. Rape, sexual assault, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. Anything that somebody does to trap somebody in regards to what they want and the other one does not. It's validation. Validation is the word of the month. Validation, validation, validation. To validate one's ego, to validate one's intelligence, to validate one's beauty. Validation is the word for November. Why do people want to validate themselves? Because all the things that are coming from generations that don't really truly pertain to them, or why they can't fully experience true unconditional love within themselves and from God, is being illuminated because the sun is in Scorpio. Scorpio rules Pluto, which is the deep womb transformation of inner power. Why is this such a big thing? It's a big thing because validation is something that generations have literally died behind. Validating one's power, validating one's free will. Validation is something that generations have died behind because they always want to validate one. They always want to validate one's mind, validate one's spirit. Validation, validation, validation. Validation is the death of our community. You don't need to be validated you don't need to validate yourself. You don't need to validate yourself to the external world, excuse me. You don't need to validate yourself to the external world. Because I told you, the power that's happening is happening on the outside of the world. The world is equating to the power that you already hold within. That's why these people are coming back. You see what I'm saying? These people coming back because these are the same people that try to mooch off your power, leech off your energy, leech off your spirit. These are the same people that use you as a supply. So why wouldn't they come back? Their resource is being sucked dry. Venus is the planet of love and resources. If it's in Libra, That means there's a balance happening of where this belongs to that individual and that doesn't belong to that individual. What if nobody comes back? People come back mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. They don't always have to come back physically. The thought of somebody, the representation of somebody, literally the situation that you have with somebody could happen with a whole nother person. See, I don't know that nigga like that. I just met that nigga like a month ago. But his tendencies trigger in a very weird way. And it's just like, I ain't never dealt with no shit like that. So what the fuck? Somebody else dealt with some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is this? Bitch, who this for? Who this for? Cause who the fuck is it? Who the fuck sent you? See what I'm saying? Validation is a thing that causes people to feel unworthy. The month of November, validation is trying to be like I mean, when I say people are trying to scrape and get validation because of the fact of the prices are adding up, the calculations are adding up, everything is adding up. Everything is adding up. And they can't figure out where they fit in. They total doesn't seem to equate to another individual's total. And so since everybody's in this state of like, oh, well, how much discount you giving? Oh, well, how much you charge for your item? And how much you do for this and how much you do for that? And you're not saying how much you charge, or you're not saying how much you got, you're not saying anything. What do you think that does? Curiosity kills the cat. Curiosity kills the cat. Is the curiosity is killing the intuition. That's why I was telling y'all to focus on your moon sign. As a Leo moon, I need somebody that praises the fucking ground that I walk on. Worship me like I'm the last woman on earth. I don't give a fuck if you just met me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But see, if I don't do that, I'm going to be living in an illusion of that you don't see me as the sun. So therefore, you're going to dim my light. And I think it's very interesting because he was a Cancer moon. The moon and the sun, we was never gonna work. It was never gonna be that because you like to be hidden. You like to be in that, you know what I'm saying, in that type of energy. I don't. I like to be praised. You like to be nurtured. Praising and nurturing don't go together because of the fact of you gonna always feel like you need to do the needs, or you need to just the nurturing the needs, and the wants come with ego. A praise kink, it comes with ego, baby. That's where praise kinks come from. Ego. So when I look at the energy for November, this is how I see it transpiring in the world. It's going to transpire in the world in ways where we are going to truly be like, wow, you really seek a lot of validation from somebody else to be able to give you some type of self-worth and self-value. Like, a lot of attention seeking is going to come up in the month of November. Attention seeking, a lot of like, I don't even want to say like manipulation. It's attention seeking. They're seeking attention because they don't feel validated. They don't feel heard. They don't feel seen. Thank you. This is going to happen in all different aspects. And anybody that has tried to validate themselves out of ill intent will be exposed. If you are trying to validate yourself through another person, if you're trying to validate yourself through a company, through problems, whatever the fuck you're trying to validate yourself with, you will be exposed. You know, I also see a lot of people that they feel like they aren't, like they want to be a part of a crowd. Here we go about that shit again, because I told y'all in Libra season about that shit. Every time we get in Libra energy, it's always about this thing about like, stop trying to be with the Joneses. Stop trying to be with the crowd. Like, if somebody tell you a story, you don't need to pick up on your motherfucking story. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you don't have to create some type of scenario so you can be a part of what's going on in the world. We all aren't going to experience the same thing when we need to experience it because of the fact that we all aren't on the same timeline. We are not on the same timeline. Okay, sorry, y'all. We aren't on the same timeline, y'all. And I think the scariest part to me is the fact of like how oblivious people are to what's happening, that they don't see that people have been trying to validate themselves this entire time through them. People don't see it. So it's like now it's coming out the truth about people and what they agree in and their belief system again, their beliefs and their emotions and how they process things. And it's like so shocking. You know, I subconsciously couldn't figure out why I wasn't fucking with Starbucks heavy like that. I couldn't figure out why I wasn't doing it. Because I was starting to go to Dunkin' Donuts more. And I don't really like Dunkin' Donuts as much. It's good, but I don't really like it as much. I prefer Starbucks. But I couldn't figure out why I wasn't really fucking with Starbucks as much as I was. And then when I had asked y'all the other day, like, why are we boycotting Starbucks? It's like for it to come out about that, it's just like, damn. I knew something was going on because of the fact of like I just subconsciously was just, it's like the line would be too long, or you know what I'm saying, like, or they didn't have what I wanted, or like something would just mess it up where I couldn't get it. And so if other people are involved in something, I can't be a part of it. Like if other people are a part of something, I can't be in the mix. I can't, you won't, I'm not going to validate you. You see what I'm saying? I can't do that. November has a strong thing of validation, and it's coming from an ancestral place where people literally got slaves and they did all these things against other people. I'm telling y'all, slaves, like demasculating men, you know what I'm saying? Like snitching on people, playing both sides. That's something Libras do. Libras play both sides. This is how people have been validating themselves decades after decades, centuries after centuries, generations after generations. The coffee's good, the food is good, oh, this is good, but then you guys are supporting what the fuck is going on over there, and we over here validating that the coffee's good of what you do. So you seek so much validation through us that we was all blind to see what the fuck you was involved in. That is what is happening in our world. That's why all of a sudden you just gonna be do 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 do. What the fuck? Pothole. Find out this person is a part of this. All of a sudden you driving, da, 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 boom, this come up. You know, something about like secrets or like things happening, and you just be sitting there and all of a sudden like everybody's just like, oh, well, we didn't know you knew, or like, oh, well, we didn't know, or like, oh, we weren't sure. And it's just like, why would you not have thought that I didn't know something? Everything that is, you don't need proof. One thing that I was sitting down and I was thinking to myself, I said, the things that God has told me in private, okay, the things that God has shown me in private, does it change how I treat people or how I talk to them in the present moment? You see what I'm saying? Like, does it change how I teach them in the present moment because I haven't physically seen proof of what God has shown me or what God has told me? Like, I thought about that. Just because, just because I don't have proof physically, does that change something of how I treat them or how I conduct business with them? Because I don't have physical proof. But look, the Lord ain't. I say this and I say this so calmly, but I be really like wanting y'all to think about this, and I be wanting to play a little bit of like higher self advocate. Why would he tell you information that you would have never fucking thought of? Like you would have never fucking thought to say no shit like that, and then all of a sudden God tell you, oh, so and so is this, and so did that behind your back, and so did that. So it's just like because we haven't seen physical proof, I feel like that's the energy of where we be like, well, maybe I should go back. Why? Because we don't have something in the physical to validate what the Lord has shown us. You don't need validation in the external for you to know what the fuck you know. That's why I explained to y'all, if God showed you something in a dream, why would you go tell the person, like, I seen you in my dream doing some weird shit? That's preposterous. Because what do you think the person's going to say? When God gave me downloads about people and clarified things about people and showed me things about people, why would I go? They would never. I think I just realized that I just have to be stuck of knowing people's dark secrets and be okay with that. Because it honestly don't have nothing to do with me. See, the executive position that I play in a situation is how you deal with me. And you don't. I don't fuck with you no more. So therefore, your secret is honestly safe with me. Because unless other individuals are told the same thing that God wants to tell them, I might be a part of a different type of karma for you. It might been what we went through. You might had to pay some karmic debt through our situation that you might not have to pay with other people. You might have other lessons with other people that you might have to do. So therefore, I don't need to validate anything or get my downloads or my confirmations validated through external things of what God has already told me. Because honoring myself is validating myself. Validating myself is believing in God. Believing in God is trusting that whatever happens in the world was meant to happen. Exactly. That's another thing of why I'm realizing, like, I tweeted this a couple of days ago and I want to make sure I say this again. Why? Why is it that, hold on, let me make sure I read my tweet right. And the part in the movie I was talking about of Elemental was the fact that when he was talking about the thoughts vanishing. Certain thoughts are vanishing from your mind because of the fact of they don't pay you, like, whatever. But your happiness is what is trying to attach yourself back to some of these thoughts and memories because of the fact of your happiness knows the joy that it brought. Sorry, y'all, my nipples. Um, hold on. I never see the people living their I never see the people living their life authentically discussing the actions of unauthentic people. We just let y'all be lame in peace. The reason why so many people that don't live a very authentic life have so much to say about people that are is because of the fact that they want to seek validation through their judgment. They would like to seek validation through their judgment. People are seeking validation through the things that they say, what they do, how they treat people. They are seeking validation. They need to validate why do they feel the way that they feel. You are not going to validate why you feel what you feel with me. I don't give a fuck. I don't agree with it. You got to validate what you feel for you. And I'm telling y'all, people are trying to validate how they feel through you. Whether if it's trying to validate the fact that you guys are cool so there's no beef, or the fact that they were right about what they said or how they felt or how they treat people, how they handle things. They're trying to validate it through you. Every single day I'm watching it. I literally just watched somebody do that shit today. Somebody said some shit to me that I ain't never had nobody else say some shit like that. Like, you're just really weird and anal. Okay? So I caught myself smirking at them because I didn't catch an attitude. I didn't roll my eyes. I laughed at them in their face. Like, all right, like, fuck is you talking about? Fuck out of here, bitch. And it shifted the energy. Because once I felt that you was already on some weird shit, I shut down. I'm one of them people that you play funny with me, I will shut down on you, seriously. And that makes people uncomfortable. So now what are they doing? Trying to figure out, are you upset with them? Trying to validate their feelings. Did they do something wrong? Asking. I've been listening to people's thoughts for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Really heavy. It's been playing in my head because they're trying to validate what they feel if it was actually accurate based off of how I treat them now. You won't validate your feelings through me. I can't do nothing about that. The guy that I was telling you about earlier, he's been constantly thinking about the things that he said to me to make sure he was right. So then when he contacted me and acting like nothing ever happened or we didn't have the conversation, it was quite alarming to me. But I think it really alarmed him when he started to call me and I wouldn't pick up. What do we have to talk about? I always tell people, you spin the block on me, I don't think you want to do that. Because I'm real mean. And I be trying to tell people, like, I'm a real cold ass bitch. Spinning the block on me is probably the worst thing you can do. Especially if I'm not bored and I'm not done playing with you. You know what I'm saying? Then okay. But if I'm bored, if I'm not bored and I'm like done playing with you, it's not, don't do it. I'm very mean. Because like, you have the audacity to think somebody's gonna play with you like that. Like, I don't know why you thought that. And I'm sorry I gave you the impression that I was gonna play with you like that. But see, I'm peeping energy real heavy. It's validation. People don't know how to validate their own feelings in their internal self, so they are going to go into the external to do it. That's why so many people are voicing their opinions and their thoughts. And I told y'all the price of an opinion went down because the value of a fact has skyrocketed. And even in the movie, they had this thing. They were on this train, and it was a train of thought. And this bag fell over, and she's like, "Oh my God, the thoughts and opinions are all scrambled up." And they was like, "Oh, it's okay. It's all the same." No, the fuck, it's not. If your perception is based off of your perception about how you feel about things, and I told y'all, the perception of somebody is only at the level that their mental capacity can hold. So if people don't have the awareness to be able to validate what they feel before they perceive something out of a trauma response, how the fuck do you think this gonna work? It's not. It's not gonna work at all. They're going to constantly project. They're going to constantly belittle. They're going to constantly cause chaos. During the conversation, I realized you have issues and you are so mentally controlling. It's so exhausting. Then the person like, oh, well, it sounds like you have to walk on eggshells with me. Clearly I do, because everything that you said was based off a perception of a trauma response, because that wasn't even my intention. But if you trusted in your intuition to know what I really meant, or actually spoke with me and conversed with me so we could actually come to a solution, you would have figured that out. But instead, you decided to assume, and then you went with your perception. Then you thought that because I let bygones be bygones. See, the scariest thing that a motherfucker can do with me is for me to shut the fuck up. Once I shut up, that's it. Murder, she wrote. Because you done lost your fucking mind. You done lost your fucking mind. Who the fuck are you talking to? And see, I'm not at the level now where I have to validate how I feel through people. So therefore, I'm good. Me leaving you alone, me shutting up, me releasing, that is validating how I feel. That is validating what I know. So if I already know you're acting off a trauma response, if I already know, see, this is pushing people to stop lying to themselves. Libras be lying. I tell y'all that 110%. They lie, 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 lie. They can't help it. It's because of the fact of they are lying because they always want to seek balance. They are and I'm not saying like it's, I'm not saying that they be lying out of like bad and all the time. It's not bad, but they be lying to themselves. They either lie to themselves or they lie to people because of the fact that they're always trying to make sure everything is 50-50. And in this case, most people are lying to themselves. So why Venus is in Libra, that's why you guys are going to see a lot of like cheating. And people are going to try to expose it. Like, oh my God, look what the fuck he doing. Girl, you been knew he was cheating on you. Girl, you, boy, you been knew she was cheating on you. Stop it. What's that song by Trouble? That's how I know you ain't, yeah, that's how I know you ain't been for the, it's that song, You Ain't Street. Like, let that shit fly like a dirty bird. Like, come on. People, businesses gonna lie. Like I see like people like working for companies and be like, oh my God, I did not know they were involved in that. You're a liar. Stop lying. You're lying. What people are, why they're lying is because they want to seek validation of what they already knew. And that they didn't want to be honest with themselves. It's stupid. I wouldn't recommend it. I would 10 out of 10 not recommend it. You'll be rewarded for your truth and walking away more than anything. I tweeted, I said, in November, I'm going to be strict as possible. At the very moment you do something, you say something, and I'm not saying like disagreements don't happen, and I'm not saying that, you know, we're always going to agree with each other, but at the very moment something doesn't feel right, I don't give a fuck. Because the stricter you are this season is the more truthful that you are, the more stable that you are. Oh, yeah, I really do. I love it. The stricter you are this season, the more truthful you are. People that are strict are very truthful with themselves. It's not even about being truthful with somebody else. People that are strict are normally truthful with themselves because of the fact that they see the discipline, they see the discernment, they see that in it. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. Pay attention. It's going to happen very quickly. You're going to have epiphanies all month. You're going to change your entire trajectory all month. You could be going to somebody to do your nails. You could be going to somebody to do your hair. You could go into work one day. I'm telling you, and all of a sudden it's going to click. No. Mm-mm. You're trying to validate something through me. No. Watch. All month. Because, you know, I think another thing that's happening because Mercury's in Sagittarius is people need a deeper meaning behind the things that they're involved in. They need, you know, Sagittarius seek a lot of information, just like Geminis. But see, Sagittarius seek it real deep. Like they be really deep up in a motherfucking book. They be really deep up in something. Like they really need to dissect it very deeply. They're very spontaneous, but they're strategic. See, to be strategic means that you've already looked at it up, down, round, and around. See, Geminis just look for the verbiage, the words. Sagittarius look deeper into it for a meaning because it has to ignite something because it's fire. You're going to be very drawn to a deeper meaning. And since Sagittarius switch with Pisces, and Pisces are very off the subconscious mind, and they're also past lives, you're digging deeper into what something is because of the fact of it might not pertain to what you're going through now. Meaning that if you're digging deeper of something that doesn't pertain to what's happening now, that means that you already can cancel out what you have going on now and just release what happened before. See, I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to work through all the problems that are arising at this time. They're not meant for you to, because they're not for you to do. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on between me and this man. Like, what was the problem? Why are we going back and forth? Like, what the fuck is you even talking about? Like, I couldn't even figure it out. You know why? Because I decided to look at it deeper spiritually. What I looked at it deeper spiritually is, oh my God, somebody's dealt with a man that's very mentally, like, controlling. And, like, likes to play semantics with words and controlling of talking and shit like that, and oh this and that. Bitch, you can't be fucking with a bitch like me. My nose turned up because somebody has dealt with this shit. And I'm over here trying to figure out why is this shit not working for me. I see why. Certain companies that y'all trying to work for or like deal with, you can't. They've betrayed somebody in your bloodline before. Certain things that you want to do, you can't. They've betrayed somebody in your bloodline before. This karmic justice that we got going on right now with Venus being in retrograde, it's relationships. You can't be in a relationship with the white man because you were white in a past life. On your soul contract, you put you would not date white people because you were overcoming the energy of suppression of white supremacy. These karmic justice are deep. You can't do it. It's not going to work. You can't work here. You can't do this occupation. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's because of the fact of it goes against the soul contract. Soul contracts are coming up because of the fact of we have things going on. I think it's very interesting that there's a movie called Escaping Twin Flames. All my OG followers know how I feel about twin flames. The manipulation of spirituality is coming up. Because with Mercury and Sagittarius, we have to find the deeper meaning. Because what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? And I told people, I said, twin flame is not what y'all think. Why do y'all think I explained love and basketball, which I sent that back. I put that back on the story with the timestamp about that shit. I put it on there. They made me rewatch that part of they made me watch the part of me explaining the love and basketball. They made me, I mean, like, I'm over here getting ready this morning and I'm rewatching and I'm like, yo, that was a fucking download. Explaining Monica and Q, or whatever the fuck his name was, that was partially insanity. Because it was just like, I've literally watched people, I've gone through the motions of like, oh my God, this is love. And then it's just like, this not love. And it's like, God was like, and it's crazy because during that time, everybody was like, if you think this is love, love is in the pits of hell. And it's just like, it was such a deeper meaning. Like when you looked at it and you looked at them go through the seasons of life, if you want me to be honest, Monica and Q had a soul contract. Look, we're going to touch base on this right now. We're going to touch base on this right now. Okay? One second. Here we go. Q already lived on the street. Monica's family happened to move to this street. Q already played basketball. Monica already played basketball. Monica had not gotten into her femininity. She was in her tomboy phase. Q had already gotten into the ego of I'm the basketball player and I'm this and I'm that. Right? Right? Okay. Monica's mother never spoke up for herself. She settled. Q's mother, she didn't speak up for herself. She settled. One woman wasn't living luxury, and another woman was. Both were settling. Now let's skip to the fathers. The fathers, one was very unaware, very in his own world, very like traditional, chivalry's not dead, but like, woman does the house, right, whatever, whoop. Then we had one, money was good in the industry, you know what I'm saying, but he was a cheater. Okay? Look how both dysfunctional parents created dysfunctional children. This all st- this all started because of the fact of that he fell in love with her talent. This is what soul contracts are. When you look at their life the entire time they went through school and all the things that happened, what did it show? For one, it showed that Q needed to be more vulnerable and be more honest with himself of what he was passionate about. And then it made me think when I was talking about the checklist of what I said in the first, you know what I'm saying? Like the first reading that I was talking about, when I was talking about the checklist, how Q had a checklist. It was a fattest booty to this, to that, to that, but was in love with Monica the whole time. Miss Rough, dusty, as Auntie Sprinkle would say, pygmeisha looking ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? Very masculine, but was in love with her from top to bottom. What did Monica overcome once she graduated from high school? She was in the WNBA. She followed her dreams. She had a man support her of those dreams. She had a man supporting her of those dreams. Let's remember that. She got the fairy tale at the end. What did they both go through mentally? Validating themselves instead of allowing the external world to validate them. You got to be on Patreon, baby. I be on Patreon. I be on Patreon. I be on Patreon. I be on Instagram, but I'm really on Patreon. You do. You got to get on Patreon, baby. Especially the month of November. I ain't gonna cap. It's been too difficult for me to get on fucking live. So, baby, I'm about to just do my shit on Patreon. Like, y'all just gonna be flooded with videos. And then we be in the chat or whatever, but I've been busy. So, here we go. Yeah. Breeze had to go through a season of where they seeked validation within themselves instead of from the external world. You know, I realized that Q didn't want to be with Monica when they were younger because Monica didn't look like the rest of the bitches. Thank you. Q didn't want to be with Monica because of the rest of the bitches. Because she didn't look like the rest of the bitches. She wasn't, makeup and all that. But remember when Q seen her with the makeup on, and he seen her at the dance after her sister Lena had dressed her up, and he was like, Monica was never ugly. Let's remember that. Monica was never ugly. Never that. She was rough around the edges. Okay? She hadn't understood her true femininity. She didn't know her worth. She was doing the opposite of what she saw her mother do. Let's all remember this. Because you remember, when they was younger, Q used to handle Monica. He used to be like, well, this is what my mom do for my dad. And remember, she was like, I don't have to do everything you do. Remember, Monica was very rebellious. I'm sorry, y'all. Monica was very rebellious of what a woman should do because she always felt like her mama didn't do shit but follow what her daddy said, and she just settled with being a maid. To be a maid and a housewife. To not be valued as a woman. So why would she seek glory or validation through femininity? And she's seen what femininity has given. I mean, what the femininity in her family, what it gets in return. This is generational. See, because she felt that Lena was all pretty. What's the clock out? Instagram? Or Twitter? No, that's the bird. TikTok. That's the clock out. Damn, am I showing my age? I'm sorry. Well, welcome. Bitch, talking about Instagram, but TikTok. But anywho, yeah, y'all can go back and start this over while I'm talking and just catch up when you can. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just want to make sure. um, yeah. So, um, oh shit, Tori, Tori, I need you to text me. Tori, I need you to text me ASAP. I am just so glad, like, my mind worked. Yeah, I need you to text me ASAP. Yeah. So here we go. Now, shit. Okay, we're back. Are we on the air? Okay, boom. I'm gonna respond when I get out, but yeah, thank you so much. So here we go. Now, the month of November, let me tell y'all this. So, you know when you get a credit card and so basically we're coming up to where when you get a credit card, you go through this. Ooh, my eye jumping. Can y'all see that? Oh, yeah, I don't know if y'all can see that, but my left eye just started jumping as soon as I just said about the credit card. All right, here we go. So we're getting to the point where you know you have a credit card and you are about to go through this, like, okay, let me give you a prime example. So if you have a secure card with the company, if you make your payments on time, you remain a good relationship, they will graduate you from a unsecured to a, I mean, to a secured to an unsecured card, right? And that's what we're coming up on. We're coming up on evaluations. The reason why I say we're coming up on evaluations is because uh we're coming up on evaluations because of the fact of you need resources to act upon the things that you have, to build the structure of the foundation that you're building. You built. You need resources to be able to build on it, like houses, markets, whatever it is. You need resources, and so the evaluation is coming up, and I'm using the credit card example, but I want to use the example of like real things. So the things that God is putting into perspective is, for one, your mannerism, like how you conduct yourself. So basically, but your mannerism. God specifically says your mannerism. What's the definition of mannerism? Because that's a very specific word. A habitual gesture, a way of speaking or behaving. Excessive or self-conscious use of a distinctive style in art, literature. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure. Because that's a very specific word that he said. Yeah. Your mannerism. Oh, excuse me. Your mannerism, your ambition, your patience, your loyalty. Those are the four things that I hear God saying: mannerism, patience, loyalty, and your ambition. Those are the four things that He is evaluating of if you have cleared to go from an unsecured to a secured. So a couple things that I want you to ask yourself, because this, I mean, I don't know how the fuck if you gonna get approved or not. That ain't my business. As the heavens representative, all I can tell you is the requirements And that's it. I don't really know if you're going to get approved or not, but I'm just trying to tell you these are the 4 things that I know God is doing. So I want you to ask yourself these 4 things, and I want you to ask yourself in the way of a reflection of you. How have you been handling things? What does patience look like to you? When you think of ambition and you think of drive and you think of what does that mean to you? Okay? Mannerism, patience, ambition, loyalty. What is loyalty to you? Are you loyal to self before you're loyal to others? I had a situation to where basically, I mean, shit, I could have felt bad for what happened, but it's the way it is. So when the person tried to make it seem like, oh, I didn't take shit. It was given to me. Let's be clear. In my dad's house. Fuck you talking about. I didn't take what's mine. You see what I'm saying? This is the type of energy that God is trying to see where your loyalty lies. Because somebody that has loyalty within themselves, they don't need to take anything. You don't need to take what's already yours. That's the number one thing of loyalty. To remain loyal to oneself is to understand that what's yours can't be taken. It's yours. You know what I love? I love that everything that we've talked about for the last like 51 minutes goes into validation. Cuz I told you to ask yourself those questions. And those are the same questions and these are the same characteristics that people seek validation from other people. They seek validation to other people for loyalty. They seek validation to other people for their mannerism, how they treat people. Okay? They seek validation in the patience of, well, is this worth being patient for? Or was I moving too hasty? And they seek fucking validation of ambition. What should they actually have passion for? You ever heard somebody say calm down? And that shit done got your ass fired the fuck up. Like you mad as fuck. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody been like, oh, calm down. No, ain't no calm down. Fuck is you talking about? Calm down. Ain't no calm down, bitch. You only telling me to calm down because of the fact that it didn't happen to you. And you know what's so crazy? I said that in a live when I was telling y'all about when y'all find out the shit that y'all find out. And people be over there like, oh, you shouldn't do that, that's your mama. Or you shouldn't do that, that's your brother. Or you shouldn't do that, that's your cousin. You only saying that because it didn't happen to you. People only can speak from a place that they can because it didn't happen to them. That's why you can't seek validation from other people or you'll be acting real calm about shit you really should be shooting motherfucking shit up about. That's what God's trying to say. If you tell somebody something that God told you and you wait for them to validate it for you to believe that it is, you're going to be waiting a long time and you're going to miss out on things. This month is not a month to where you got to be like, oh, so y'all not drinking Starbucks? Well, I ain't going to drink Starbucks. Bitch, you not going to drink Starbucks because of you. I had to make the conscious decision today. Like, I really did. I had to make the conscious decision to walk my ass past Starbucks. Like, nah, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You know what? Even though Starbucks right here is so convenient, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And then the other day, it was so weird. The other day, I opened my app. Why was I logged out my app and I couldn't get back in? I never log out my Starbucks app. Logged out, couldn't get back in. And I said, you're right. I need to do that. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all know me. I don't really know what's going on over there. But I do know what's going on over there is a reflection of them trying to steal the innocence of children and the wisdom of elders and the power over other people. I do know that. I know it from a spiritual aspect. I don't know what's physically going on over there, but I mean, I know what's physically going on, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know too much information about it. But what I do know is they're trying to steal the innocence of children. They're targeting children. They don't want the children to be able to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want those children over there to be able to speak about what happened to them in 2023. They don't want them children to speak on what's been happening to them years before that. But they specifically don't want them children to speak about what's been happening. See, let me tell you something. They gave up on our generation. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. They care about them kids. They care about them kids. So if they already don't give a fuck about us, because the things that we talk about and the things that we express ourselves about and we talking about, you know what I'm saying? It seemed real far fetched. Oh, people not really listening to them. People not really listening to them. But see, God is really tweaking people's antennas. So somebody right now could come in here and be listening and be like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And it also could be 17 of y'all that's literally listening and be like, bro, she's telling us all the fucking tea. That's how far-fetched the energy is right now, why you don't need to seek validation in the external world. Seriously. Your antennas, you aren't meant to have an understanding about what's going on or for what you are hearing right now, so it can be validated with other people. What you are understanding and what you're hearing right now are for you, yourself, and whoever you else God has assigned you to. So if you're a mother, it's your child. Right now, it's me and my collective. I feel like that's the reason why I couldn't be on Instagram. I needed to switch the environment up, switch the mind up, switch the people up, switch the energy up, switch it up, switch it the fuck up. Because YouTube is a very broader, it's a broader platform, meaning that all energies can come on here, all energies can find this, and all energies can tap in. And I find that to be very interesting. I be feeling like Instagram toxic sometimes. I mean, honestly, I don't be on Instagram like that. Like, I be on Instagram for y'all, but like actually scrolling on Instagram, I'm more on Twitter. I want to be able to read people's words and respond back, or like I like thoughts. I'm really getting into words, and I kind of want to read some books, but I feel like I don't have. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all, because what God has me doing in the world, and what God has me doing in the world, and then also how God is using me as his vessel. I don't have the mental capacity to be able to withhold all different types of information right now, because everything that I'm addressing is like, it's all new. And then it's because I was supposed to write a book. I was supposed to write a survival guide for the North Node and Aries. And God was like, how are you going to write a survival guide and still go through the situation? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to go through it, then write one, which I'm probably going to do. I'm going to go through this North Node and then I'm going to write a book, because it's too much information to process. The North Node and Aries is the head. You got to get your head in the fucking game. We don't have time for this. And validation is, the people try to validate through their emotions. Like, people try to validate through their emotions, and you need to validate through the power of the mind. I didn't. It just didn't make sense to keep writing something of what I haven't experienced in the physical. But validation. Validation is very bad. What other download that I have about November? Hold on. All right. So there's a new moon in Scorpio coming up. This is why this is happening. Because the vanishing of thoughts is going to take place. Oh, and it's funny, it's on the 13th. The vanishing of thoughts is going to start taking place. This is really scary for people of other bloodlines and dark entities that won't be able to make it. Once you aren't scared of the boogeyman, thank you. Once you aren't scared of the boogeyman, you see the boogeyman as a clown. Once you aren't scared of commitment, once you aren't scared of vulnerability, there are entities of the world. Oh, my nose. Once you aren't scared of those emotions, there are entities that are going to shit on themselves. Shit bricks. Shit bricks. Because they were able to keep generations after generations under that same fear-based mentality. And since Venus is in Libra, the karmic justice and the soul contracts have to do with the feelings, the love for yourself, the relationship with yourself, the resources of yourself, and the resources of others. And since Libra switch with Taurus, this is earthly matters, meaning that this shit is concrete once it goes into effect. Once the fear of vulnerability is put to death, that means you can teach your kids how to have power and vulnerability. Once the fear of commitment is broken up, the to put to death, that means that you aren't just the one married couple in your family. All of a sudden, your children get married to other men. You remember when I was telling y'all about how there are people that are supposed to have babies, and then their babies are supposed to marry other people, karmic babies, and they're supposed to have a balance between their karmic justice and their equal justice. And then there's also karmic babies that are going to come together with other karmic babies because of the fact that they have to clear the karma. Pluto has been in Capricorn forever. Capricorn is the devil. It's the house of reputation. It's the house of authority. All those things equate to why people lack authority in their lives. Another major transit that's happening is Pallas goes into Scorpio. Pallas is the asteroid of Mercury. Over the next few weeks, it's easy to see past the cloud of deception and see the truth in all issues. Use Pallas's strength, wisdom, and courage to face some unpleasant facts that'll make you stronger. Why do y'all think I keep saying the month is about validation? Because all these things are going through deaths. The asteroid of Mercury, your thoughts, your communications, past things, Scorpio, death. Which is all the Scorpio energy is Aries energy. Aries is new beginnings. We're about to go into the fourth quarter of the astrological calendar, which is Capricorn season. Right now, things seem difficult in the world right now. Like, the world seems hard to certain people because of the fact that it's the third quarter. The third quarter is the hardest quarter. It's the third quarter is normally what makes or breaks a game. You can have an amazing first half. That third quarter, you slack up. You can lose that shit real quick. That's why it's like, stay on your shit. Stay focused, pay attention, relax, calm down. Everything that is happening right now is not even what's going to be set in stone. Like, right now, you guys are really just like killing time. Like, that's all you're doing with what's going on in your life. You're killing time, whether you like it or not. You're killing time. You are not at your final destination. And I'm not saying that like, oh, well, the next stop is going to be where you're going to be for the next 40 years. No, I'm not saying that. But when it comes to you basically overcoming all the obstacles of the North Node in Taurus, when it comes to this 6 months of structure, and then we go into this, because Capricorn season is only a couple days of the calendar year, right? But we get into 2024. 2024 is 8. Okay, if you look at the laws of karma, let's go. Let's go. Here we go. I'm trying to tell you. 12 laws of karma. The 12 laws of karma. We're in right now, we're in 7, where you have to give to receive. I mean, you gotta pay to play, excuse me. It says the law of focus. One cannot think of two things at the same time. It is our focus is on spiritual values. It is not possible for us to have lower thoughts of like greed and anger. The year 8 is the law of giving and hospitality. If one believes something to be true, then sometime in their life they will be called upon to demonstrate that truth. Here's where one puts what they claim to have learned into practice. Infinite. Wisdom is infinite. Vulnerability, infinite. Infinite, infinite, infinite. Next year we'll be in the energy of hold on, sorry, y'all. Next year we will be in the energy of the law of compensation. The definition of compensation, something typically money awarded to someone as a recompense for loss, injury, or suffering. 7 is the number of endings. Luck. Is it luck or alignment? It's not done. You're not where you are supposed to be. And I'm saying that, and I'm not saying that like, oh, well, this not where I'm supposed to be, so I shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't accept this and I shouldn't, love this. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. What I said was that this is not where you are going to be. This is just a time filler. Time move faster up there than it do down here. So therefore, sometimes they just got to fill you up with a whole bunch of different things. So, you know what I'm saying? So they could just handle what they need to handle up there so you're not in the way. That's something that I think a lot of people are about to truly understand of like, damn, I was totally in love with you. And then all of a sudden my whole like demeanor just changed. Like, you like, damn, like I really liked you. Now all of a sudden I don't even care about you. Or like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I really love this job. Next thing you know, you're not at the job no more. Like you got a whole nother job that you love. Like, that's what time fillers are. And I kept telling them about time traveling. And they was like, God was like, don't get too deep into it. Because, everybody think everything's so superficial. Or they think everything is supposed to be some type of like, they don't realize that like them living a life normal is timeline jumping and shit. Like just doing normal shit. Like you just doing normal shit. You like, I don't believe in all that superficial, superstitious stuff. It like, bitch, what you if you see, and I think next year, and that's what I was trying to tell y'all about, like, a lot of people about to get over that magic shit. Like, we about to get over making it seem like it's just weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? We really do live in a life of Hogwarts. We all are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, or the other one. We all are on some type of category. And I think it's interesting that it's 4 of those. And it's 4 elements. Think about this. There are 4 elements. There were 4 of those teachers things, you know what I'm saying? Ravenclaw, thank you. And so, you know what I'm saying? Of those teams, like we already are on Hogwarts. And it's funny because there's a video that I did and it says, "Welcome to Hogwarts." Oh shit. And then thank you. Then I had seen a owl on my Twitter, and they was like, if this showed up, what would you mean? Somebody was like, oh, I got an invitation to Hogwarts. Case closed. So, while I think about if there's any other downloads, what are 3 things you got from this live about the month of November? Let's see who's all paying attention. What are 3 things you got from this? Oh, and then Mars goes into Sagittarius. Cyrus, Sagittarius. Namaste. You know, so crazy. I don't even watch shit like I don't even watch reality shows like that. But I caught myself watching Married to Medicine. I knew at that very moment God was like, you need to go find you something to do. Thank you. You need to go do something else. Get on your Zoom, stay focused, and shut the fuck up. Okay. If that's what you got about it, Bree, okay. Okay, Cole. Okay. Let me make sure I clarify, Keon. Validation from the external world is bad. Touche. Touche. It ain't always about you. What does patience look like to you? What does ambition look like to you? Are you loyal to self before others? What does loyalty look like? Loyalty look like to you. God wants to see where your loyalty lies. Ooh, I can always count on Ray to know all the in-depth questions. Yeah, I like that. I'm starting to watch that shit. I'm about to watch that shit when I get off the phone. Nurture yourself, mind your business, believe in your vision. Don't validate through emotions, validate through the power of the mind. Ooh! Okay. I think we got one. How have you been handling the things you know you will... How have you been able... Wait, how have you been handling the things you know you will set up for success? I'm pretty sure there's another word in that, but I can't autocorrect right now. Honestly, give up on life. What the hell? Absolutely not. Wrong classroom. Hello. Child, what the hell be going on? A motherfucker will play some mantis to get you to validate them. Hello. Transmute energy from your good. From your what? From your good what? Prime example, seeking validation. Give up on life now. Oh, my Lord. Let me just help you out, child. Let me just help you out. There you go. This time can make or break you. What are you allowing? Can you prove to yourself that you can do what you said? Can you stand on boundaries with yourself and not bend for others? You know what I think is so interesting? This is exactly what I meant when I said that y'all all are on here to listen, right? And y'all antennas all are hearing things differently. Exactly what I meant. This is exactly what I meant. Exactly how, because I mean, y'all interpretations are, you know what I'm saying, they're all different. And y'all all heard the same shit. You see what I'm saying? This is exactly what I meant. So you don't need nobody to validate what you feel. This is a prime example. You didn't need to read nobody else's thought process to validate, you know what I'm saying, oh, if what you interpreted from my message was accurate or not, right? Right. Here you go. That's why God said, ask them the question, what 3 things did they take from this? Yes. Oh, my feet itching. Oh, we about to go on a journey, sweetie. Feet itching. You don't always got to be heard. You know what you know. Absolutely. I like that. I like that at all. I like that. I mean, I like that a lot. Picasso. Because one thing that I'm learning, and I'm learning through y'all as being y'all teacher, I'm learning that y'all all interpret messages very differently. And since y'all all on different timelines, I can't explain things from one point of view. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I have to make sure that what I'm channeling from God and how he's telling me to say it, it is going to be able to be said and heard, perceived, understood through multiple individuals. You see what I'm saying? Because I myself am going through shit that, well, I'm not, I really have to think to myself sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really have to think to myself, I'm not going through a motherfucking thing. Like, I've literally just been living life. Like, it's like I'm finally at the point of where, like, I can accept that this is my life. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I can accept that. I can accept, like, my life is actually just supposed to be real cool, real chill. Like, no extra shit. Like, I'm just supposed to be able to teach, do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really, like, I'm really supposed to just be free. And, like, excuse me. And I have to accept my freedom. Ooh. Like, that's something that I had that realization of, like, so whatever I say I want to go try or I want to do, I'm going to do it. And I don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, it used to feel so far-fetched for me to be able just to be free and not to question myself and to think about everything I do 190 times. Like, bro, I'm just gonna do that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna do that shit. Like, I don't care to be perfect. I don't care to, I might not, you know what I'm saying? It might not work. But see, one thing that I'm realizing is I have a very strong intuition and I have a very close connection with God. Meaning that I say like 9.8 times out of 10, that shit gonna hit every time. Whatever I do, shit gonna hit. So it's just like, why stress? I don't know. That's just an observation that I've had. So, like, how I used to just be so goal oriented. I'm so sorry, y'all. My nipples is so bad. Whoever is thinking about me, Jesus Christ, please. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Um. Leave me alone. Fuck. But you know what I'm saying? I used to be so goal oriented. Like, I think that, I feel like somebody needs to hear this, so just listen. I used to be very goal oriented. I used to be very like, I need to make 10K in a month. I need to make 5K in a month. I need to make 2K from this and 3K from this. And I need to have this and I need to have this and have that. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't have goals anymore. Like, not saying I don't have goals in life. No, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Like, I don't have goals anymore. I know that sounds crazy because I felt like, what's up, T? I felt like my goals kept me out of an energy of surrender. I hope this makes sense. Like, I felt like, because let's be honest, when you have a goal, you don't even know how you're going to get to the goal. You don't know how you're going to overcome the goal. You don't know. But you just know this is what you want. So then it's like you put yourself in this position to where you're trying to fixate your mind on getting this goal in the way that you see fit or the way you feel like it would work. So I don't have any goals anymore. Like, I want something, just make it happen. I don't know. Like, or I'm just going to do it. Anything that's already in my control, anything that's something that I have the capabilities of doing without extra assistance, or it's like, like I can actually do it myself. You know what I mean? I'm just doing it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I started to like think about it because it was so funny because before I got on live, I heard that thing when he was like, "Wake up! It's the first of the month." Like, having so many like monthly rituals, I don't care to do that anymore. So, would you say that this is a form of trust in the process? I mean, I guess you could say it's a form of trust in the process, but I don't really allow the process to process. Thank you. I don't even apply for the process to start. Like, I don't put that energy out there anymore. So I don't know if I mean, that you're right. You might be right. It could be trust in the process, but I don't even implement the start of the process no more. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but like, I don't have any goals. My only goal is to, when my children ask me, "Mom, what's the craziest thing you've done?" that I have a list. When they want to ask me about certain experiences that they're having, I'm not that parent that's like, "Oh, I don't know. I ain't never had that happen to me before. I ain't never went there before." It's like, shit, Mom, I think I'm gay. Oh, yeah, I went through that too. I kissed a girl. I dated a girl. I mean, I found out I didn't really like them like romantically like that. Like, it's like so many different things that I'm thinking about. Like, are they like, "Mom, I just want to quit my job and just go." Well, I did that. I did that. I quit, and I had a job. I didn't have a job for about a year and a half, and then did that. Yeah, I did that. Like, I want to be able to just tell them experiences, because like, I feel like my kids are just so going to be so karmically balanced that like they don't have that fear or that anxiety or the depression, or they don't have the unstable emotions and the mental state. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have that lack that I did, of the reason why it even took me so long. Like, I was talking to somebody and they was like, "You want kids?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they started bringing up a biological clock. I looked at that motherfucker like, biological clock. Like, you didn't even know how old I was until I told you. The fuck are you talking about? Like, you didn't even know how old I was until I told you. Like, I just want to be able to do that. I just want to be able to. My only goal in life is that my children, they can talk to me. I did that. "Mom, this person is just emotionally manipulated." Baby, them motherfuckers is sad and their parents don't fucking love them. That's why they act like that. I don't want to come from a place of like, "Well, you need to stick it out with them and you need to hold on to things, and or you need to just cut it off." I want to have a reason to tell my kids to stop fucking with a motherfucker. I want to be able to tell my kids a reason, instead of it just being, "Well, sweetie." No. Hell no. Man, them motherfuckers is going through it down bad. They daddy don't love them and he don't love their mama. That's why they act like that, baby. They don't got no vulnerability in their house. They don't got no truth in their house. They don't got no real ass shit going on in their house, baby. That's why they act like that. You know what I'm saying? They're children of disloyalty. Like, I want to be able to tell my kids, baby, please, that boy you talking to, that boy used to be white in the past life, and he has to fight the acceptance of being a black man. That's why he act like that. Yeah. I want to be able to tell my children a reason that doesn't come from from my lack of experience. Cause I realize that's what's happening in the world. That's why this validate. I'm telling you, this is why this validation thing's coming up, because this is also how you should treat your inner child. I remember telling my mom at like, I probably was like 10, 11. I was like, I think I'm bisexual. And she was like, oh, okay. Like she didn't really know what to say, but she was like kind of cool with it. But I mean, like, I didn't really know, but it's like, I knew what I said. I was like, no, I like girls and I like boys. And of course, my dad was like, "Oh, that's a sin," and this, that. Like, you don't even got no experience unless you like boys too. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's just how my mind works. Like, you don't have experience. So it's funny because this guy asked me today. He said, "How would you act if your children were trans?" I said, honestly, I would want them to speak to me. I would want my children to speak to me. Like, speak to me, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes from you know what I'm saying? And the person was like, okay, I can understand it, but what if they wanted to transition like health wise? I said no. Until you are old enough to be able to transform your body parts, then you will do that when you get older. But you know, you expressing it, I will respect it. I will protect you. But I'm not going to put you under a knife and all that other shit. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be exactly T. I'm going to be emotionally available for what is needed in my children's life. I'm going to be emotionally available for my inner child. The reason why we felt so much lack and we felt so much, you know what I'm saying, so much neglect is because our parents lacked emotional availability. So they're giving you their perception based off of their mental capacity that already lacks the empathy and higher perspective of what the emotions that they feel when they hear what you said are happening. I feel like the reason why God put me on YouTube right now, because this is a conversation that I feel, if I can just be honest with you guys, this is a conversation that I feel like is very far fetched of a stretching of the mind. We're about to go through a lot of Sagittarius. Yes, we're about to go through a lot of Sagittarius energy. And that's why I was telling you about this deep desire to understand the spiritual energy. And this also comes in the sense of Jupiter, of expansion. And that's why I was said, like, yeah, do you want rewards from Jupiter? Yes. But at the same time, you really want more rewards from Saturn because it's longevity. You want rewards from Jupiter because of the fact that it's expansive. So you go from 20 customers to 200 customers to 400. But at the same time, it's like it's going to constantly move. So therefore, it's just like you can't feel comfortable in that much change because it's always expanding. So that's why you have to look at it like just alignment, just stay in alignment. But that's why you want to be rewarded by Saturn, because Saturn is longevity, meaning you get to experience commitment for a long time, for eternal. You get to experience emotional availability from in like eternal. You get to experience loyalty, eternal. You get to feel these things from a very deeper perspective, instead of you touching the surface and then you just expanding off of where you touched in the surface. So we've reached, let's say, you know, when you guys first met me, you know what I'm saying, we went through that first little shift or whatever, and then we started expanding again from another shift, and then we started expanding from another shift. You guys only get that longevity feeling and that feeling of like a long that longevity feeling and that feeling of like what am I trying to say? like earthly energy, like grounded energy, you only get that from Saturn because now you have the discipline and the discernment to be able to move forward with what you feel and what you're expanding from. Hope that makes sense. Sustainable. Thank you. That's the word I'm trying to look for. Thank you. Yes. I agree, Javay. That's what I'm trying to explain. So it's like how we are expanding in our mindsets, how we are expanding in our emotions, how we're expanding now. We're expanding from a place of where we understand, expand. We understand, expand. We understand, expand. We understand, expand. So it's not like we understand, we sit for a minute and then we expand. That's not what's been happening because with Saturn being in Pisces, Saturn is really in Sagittarius, meaning, and also that we are learning the other side of Jupiter. We're always equating Pisces energy to Neptune. So we're always focusing on the subconscious mind, forgetting that Pisces also rules Jupiter. So therefore, your subconscious, the reason why people stay at the mental capacity that they do is because that their subconscious mind, they don't allow it to expand from when they get clarity. People decide that they want to expand based off what they want to neglect. They expand off neglect and then they're upset when their environment is a reflection of that emotional availability of seeking the truth. You have not neglected this, okay? You have not neglected the truth, and that's why you continue to expand. So the subconscious mind isn't stuck on what is neglectful, what is emotionally unavailable, what is hurtful, pitiful, you know what I'm saying? Not valuable, okay? It's the subconscious mind isn't focused on that. The subconscious mind is more focused on the clarity of now, why do I feel the neglect? Why do I not feel valued? Why do I not feel this? That's where you are expanding off of. That's why that twin flame thing, I'm so sorry to tell y'all. That's why I didn't believe a lot of the shit that was happening in the twin flame collective because of the fact that there was no expansive energy to it. It wasn't expanding at all. If you want me to be honest, Monica and Q both treated each other at a certain point like shit. Beauty and the Beast, there was a point in time where Belle did kind of have to get the beast together. You know, today I was telling you about that dude. I was telling you about where he was like, you need to want to compromise. I don't want to compromise people. Compromising is coming to an agreement so both parties are pleased. I don't want to deal with somebody that we have to come to agreement just to be pleased. Are we not fully satisfied? Why can't we be fully satisfied? Why do we just have to meet in the middle? Thank you. And then there's a full moon in Gemini at the end of the month. That full moon in Gemini is going to be a fucking time. Because as we're talking about all this intellect, you know, I feel like the emotional unavailability. Remember, I was telling you about a lot of men's emotional unavailability is a lie. What do y'all think we're about to come up on? The lies, the lies, the lies, the lies. Your emotional unavailability is a lie. The new moon is in fucking Scorpio, and the full moon is in Gemini. The lies. First of all, the lies of the deep wounds, and then the lies of the mind. You know, there's going to be a lot of air and water energy. Lack is or, abundance is and, lack is this or that, abundance is this and that. I like that. There's a lot of air and water energy. Whew. Um, I think that's it. Any questions? You just slide by and do live. No, I'm not. I got 4 boyfriends. I got 4 boyfriends. I need a $300 deposit, non-refundable. Then you have a annual fee of $9.99, and that all has to be paid at the time of sign up. um, um, I have Scorpio second house. Does this mean I'm finna get some what? What the fuck is a munions? Talking about money? You know, if you have to ask if you getting some money, you probably not getting no money. Because your energy is focused on money. You know, everything in this world right now, you don't have to ask for it. Yeah, if you are asking about money, you probably not getting no money. Because your energy is not called to that, you know? That bitch put that nigga on timeout. Shit. Any other questions before I go? You know, Bree. It don't matter. It don't have to be Bree. It could be anybody. Look up the number 2112. I know it's 6. Look up that number for me. Oh my god, y'all. I was walking, and why the fuck did I hear Jasmine Sullivan need you bad? I said, How would you deal with patience? My biggest advice of how to deal with patience is to ask yourself, why are you so eager? It is. My biggest thing is that it's courage, ambition, and balance. Oh, hold on, y'all. Why do I hear that song? No, you don't have to call. It's okay, girl. Cause I'ma be alright tonight. They be lying. All these love songs. When Ursher told that girl she didn't have to call, it was because his ego was hurt. Not be talking about she ready for him to go on tour. But okay. If there's no more questions, I'm about to go. Bye, sugar. For anybody that is experiencing their first live on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it because, baby, my mind is stretched. My mind is stretched. YouTube, I feel like the reason why we just came on YouTube is because God needed to stretch our minds. Courage, ambition, and balance. Love you too, sugar. I feel like that. I feel like God really just stretched my mind. Like, I'm not gonna cap. I'm tired. I don't even want to think. Like, God really just stretched our minds because this gonna be one of them lives you just gotta like let that shit play in the background because like you gonna have to really take notes. Cause I know for a fact that I'm gonna have to watch this fucking live and take fucking notes. Because baby, this was a lot. My mind is stretched. I know he gonna be doing that all month. Like all month I can feel it. I can feel like God gonna be stretching our minds because Mercury Mercury being a Sagittarius, I'm telling you, you're gonna always try to seek you're gonna always be seeking the deeper spiritual meaning behind it. So like you're not even gonna care about the muggle shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna care about the muggle shit. You're not gonna care about no muggle shit. You're gonna care about the spiritual aspect of it. And the reason why I feel like more people are going to look at it from a spiritual aspect because of the fact that when you look at it from a spiritual aspect, you already can release the need to place your emotions into the situation. So basically you can process the situation and then you can process your emotions one and one. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? We had that thing where we would try to process something spiritually, but our emotions were involved, so we weren't going to be able to process it fully. And I feel like now that Mercury's in Sagittarius, you're going to do one and the other. Because, you know, Sagittarius are the epitome of duality because they're half man and half horse. All mutable signs are, but I'm just saying, like, you know, and Sagittarius can do a lot of, like, they can act very nonchalant. They only enact, Sagittarius act nonchalant because of the fact of the things that they act nonchalant about. It's the difference between acting nonchalant and not giving a fuck. When Sagittarius act nonchalant, it's because of the fact that whatever they're acting nonchalant about is it really has power over them. And then whatever they're acting like they don't give a fuck, they really just don't give a fuck. But I'm telling you, they're acting nonchalant because they have power. And the way you can tell the difference between somebody that's acting nonchalant is the way that they address the situation. It's like when somebody's talking to you and they're like have a straight face and they're like, yeah, I don't fucking care. I don't fuck with them. And it's just like, oh, okay, you don't fuck with him. And then sometimes it's just like, yo, girl, I do not fuck with him. Like eye rolling and shit like that. Like you just pick up on body language. That's something that God is the mannerism thing. That's what I say. God is picking up on that. Cause like if you say you don't care, that means you shouldn't be acting no type of way. Like you get what I'm trying to say. Like I had realized I didn't care. So like trying to go back and forth with that man was kind of stupid. You know what I mean? So I was just like, look, sweetie, let me just keep it real with you. You're just not what I want. Instead of me, oh, I just can't believe you keep calling me, and I can't believe you said that. And blah, 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 blah. If I didn't care, then you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna just go ahead and keep it funky with you. You're not what I want. So just pay attention to that with yourself. Other people, don't pay their ass no attention. They want to validate themselves through you so bad. So I'm about to go. Oh my God, I gotta put a fucking peach patch on my face. Jesus Christ. Oh God, it's getting a little hard right here. That means there's a bump trying to come up. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all on the next YouTube live. We're going to be doing YouTube lives more. I can feel the expansion of my mind. And God wants us to, because YouTube is a broader platform, more people can find me on here. I will be doing more lives on YouTube. And I also be doing private lives. I'll be doing lives, and majority of my lives, they're going to be saved on Patreon. So if you are on a YouTube live, after that live is done, you won't be able to see it. It will only be available on Patreon. I think that's what I'm going to start doing, actually. I think I'm going to actually keep my lives on Patreon instead. It's the fact that y'all keep talking about y'all love me real bad. Y'all are so ratchet. Okay, Carisha. Carisha, please. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but I'll see y'all later.